heard. We will make our struggle. We will make our resistance.
To my podcast is Just Different with Ty. I'm here in Washington, D.C. with probably one of the most revolutionary historians of all time. I'm giving him that honor. We in, again, Washington, D.C. I'm here with the chairman, Omali Yeshitela. And sir, it's an honor to have you here. It's a pleasure. Can you please tell us why we're here today in D.C.?
First of all, I want to express my appreciation to you, to this incredible podcast, Comrade Brother Tyrone, that you've been doing and opening up these spaces to help us break out of this cocoon that the bourgeois and colonial media have attempted to lock us into. So it's very good because we're engaged in a war of ideas, and generally speaking, Africans and our movement are not as well armed, obviously, as our oppressor. So to have this opportunity is splendid. So I want to thank you for that. Secondly, we are here today. This is the 15th annual mobilization that the Black is Back Coalition has had. Black People's March to the White House. And we've been doing this for 15 years to bring greater unity to the struggle of black people against colonial domination of our people here and around the world. And to force the world have to deal with the fact that the political economy of the whole world is characterized by colonialism, that it is a colonial mode of production that produces everything that we experience in the world today. That's the whole world was locked into a single economy for the first time as a consequence of what Portugal did 600 years ago when it attacked Africa. And we've been fighting to challenge this contradiction ever since that. And inside the United States, as you know, we've had incredible leaders coming from the United States, as Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X, and so many other people who have tried to unite our people. And the African People's Socialist Party was a part of that. I am an organizer who at one time was a member of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee in the 1960s, who took up the slogan of Black Power, which is something that changed the struggle of black people from just one begging to be a part of America and deciding that we want to have our own power. Black power was an anti-colonial demand. It's the demand that locked us into the same struggle of people who were fighting against imperialism all around the world, including Vietnam and all these other places. So we became conscious of our own agency, our own responsibility to take power over our own lives. And then our movement came under brutal assault. Assassinations of people from Malcolm X to Martin Luther King inside the United States, to Bobby Hutton, who was just 17 years old when he was murdered by the United States government in Oakland, California in 1968, to Patrice Lumumba earlier than that, 1960, to Kwame Nkrumah, who was overthrown. The black people's movement against colonialism, for self-determination, for control of our own lives, that's what informed our movement. And then we saw the U.S. and all kinds of colonial powers come down against that movement. Vietnam succeeded in liberating itself, but Che Guevara, as you know, was wounded in Bolivia in 1967 on October 9th, 1967. Wounded, captured, and then murdered by CIA agents there. And so our movement had a serious kind of setback. And not only did they kill us physically, but they attacked the ideology, the philosophy that was developing at that time against colonialism. So what we've done as the African People's Socialist Party to rebuild this movement, one of the things that we've done is pull together a coalition of African people who, many organizations were out there doing a lot of work, but there was no coherence to our movement. There was no cohesion to our movement. There was no general theory or ideology that was guiding the trajectory of our movement. So we had a lot of action, but there was not toward any particular kind of end. It was almost like the movement is everything and the revolution is nothing. So we tried to challenge that, and we created the Black is Back Coalition, 18 different organizations, now united around the question of self-determination, which is an anti-colonial demand. That's what we marched for the last 14 years. This is the 15th one at the White House, to as a people to advance the struggle for our liberation. And so this is the 15th one, but this one is one that is also influenced and informed by the fact that the United States government attacked our movement, attacked me physically in 2 different states on July 29th of last year. And the objective, of course, was to stop this trajectory that we had continued in terms of completing that black revolution of the 1960s for the end of colonial domination of our people and the peoples around the world. And then, of course, as we were taking this on, this escalated aggression against the people of Palestine is something that has informed what we are doing today as well. And the Palestinians live under settler colonialism. And I don't have to, you know, settler colonialism, when Europeans leave Europe and come to a place and take over the land, change the name of the land, change their own names. It used to be Europe, it used to be Germans and Poles and Russians and Americans, and now they all claim to be Israelis after they take Palestine, change the name from Palestine to Israel, and act like they've always been there, etc. This is how settler colonialism works.
That's right.
And the United States itself is a settler colony. Unless somebody forget, the fact is this is stolen land, stolen territory, and the reason you don't recognize that so easily because you don't see the traditional custodians of this land walking down the streets or in communities. They're in concentration camps called Indian reservations with very poor life changes, etc., because that's what happens under colonialism. So that's the thing, and we're trying to pull it all together and make everybody aware that this thing that we are doing is not trying to see who can have the bigger peace march or the bigger protest march. From our perspective, is the struggle against colonialism, and the same thing is true with the Palestinians. They're not just trying to see who can have the bigger peace march or the bigger protest march. They're fighting for national liberation, as black people are fighting for national liberation. And their people, given an opportunity, would pit the struggle of Palestinians against the struggle of black people. And these are people who are trying to get a bigger audience, a bigger protest march, a bigger anti-war mobilization. And the fact is, colonialism is an act of war, whether or not there's shooting going on at the time or not. So that's what we're here for, to mobilize everybody. We also say drop the damn charges. They're bogus charges, phony charges, and the same war that's being made against us is being made against the Palestinian people. And despite every effort to do otherwise, the Palestinian and the African Revolution are going to reunite in the same way Malcolm X was in Palestine and Gaza in 1964. And they killed him shortly after he left Gaza and came back to the United States. They murdered Malcolm because of that unity that black people have always had with Palestine. SNCC came out in support of Palestine in 1967, and SNCC came under assault. All the white left, all the white liberals who love black people so much, when we came out for Palestine, they took their resources away, resources that we needed to organize in some of the most dangerous places in this country just for black people to join Joe Biden's party. They were bombing our homes, they were assassinating our leaders and whatever. SNCC came out against for Palestine. The Black Panther Party, historically on the side of Palestine. So our movement, and we did that not because we wanted to have a big demonstration or who was going to have the bigger demonstration, because like the Palestinians, we cannot survive colonialism. We are fighting for national liberation. We are fighting for our lives, and we can't have life unless we recapture our complete control against this colonial mode of production, this colonialism that has been dropped on all of us. So that's what we're here. We're here now. We're saying not one step backwards. They don't care how many flashbang grenades. I don't care how much they do to people in Gaza. In fact, we say Gaza, Gaza. What do we say? Hold the line. Victory to Palestine. We say the same thing about African people involved in this struggle here and other places around the world. So that's why we're here. We also had a demonstration this morning at the U.S. Embassy in Pretoria, South Africa. We had a demonstration this morning at the U.S. Embassy in London, England. We had a demonstration this morning in Liberia, another in Sierra Leone, raising the same question, drop the charges against us, and there's solidarity with the people of Palestine. time. Uhuru.
Yo, thank you, sir. Thank you for coming on here. I know you got to go. Make sure you get his book that's out now. Reparations Now. The great Omali Yeshitela. Thank you for coming on.
Uhuru, thank you. The verdict is in. Reparations now. Uhuru.
Yo.
Adelante siempre. Forward ever. Backwards never. All right.
All right. Thank you.